Alrighty, today I'm going to show you a couple of other puzzles. I'm going to show you a cheese. Cheese was my holy grail of puzzles for a long time. Um, I probably started looking for one, I don't know, probably 1994, 95, something right after I got over here and started playing with puzzles again. Don't know when they were made. I know they were made in Hungary, but other than that, I'm not very clever. Um, but at any rate, I was looking for one of these things forever and forever and forever, and they're really hard to come by. Um, and I happened to find one day on an eBay auction, and it was really quite funny because the cheese was being sold with three or four other puzzles. I'm not sure, and I bid, I don't know, 130, 140 on the puzzles. Well, I'm not, again, not even sure. And the seller was really surprised to see that they went as high as it did. I don't think it went that high. I really can't remember what I paid for it, but it was a lot. It was very under market value at the time. And that's a cheese. It is a 6-piece puzzle. There's nothing else to it. Just a 6-piece puzzle. Um, and it just turns around itself. The cheese is a very easy puzzle to solve. They come in a variety of different colors. This around the middle doesn't turn in this area. So it's a very, I hope I use this word right, trivial puzzle. I've seen a couple of them selling on eBay quite recently. Mint with the packaging and the gold and is it black, I think, string that's on it. That one I think is selling for like around 200 US dollars. One that's open, like mine, is selling for around $900. Sorry, $90. I'm switching seats. Sorry. So the cheese is just, there's nothing to it, right? Now I want to show you. This is really odd talking about a cheese, but it kind of branches into a number of other puzzles as well. This puzzle was made in Hungary somewhere in the 1980s. It was supposedly designed by Erno Rubik, according to the patents. I'm not sure. I attempted to make one by using molding and got pretty far into it, but my husband still needs to drill the holes for the ring for me, and it's 2 years since I've made the pieces, but that's typical of my husband to take so long to do the last bit. My cheese is a little bit funny because, as you can see, the colors are offset by 1. The object of it is to match up the colors, obviously, together, and I've got gray here, and you would naturally assume that red would be underneath, but it's offset by 1 all the way around. Okay, now the other interesting thing about the cheeses, this gray should actually be a purple color, but it has definitely faded. Whoever had this was a really heavy smoker, heavier than I ever was, because the edges of these puzzles have got so much smoke on them that it's not funny. But the cheeses, every one that I see has a different color combination. I've never seen 2 of them the same, so it's very interesting that they would, I don't know, slap the pieces together that way. But you can see, if you get a really close-up one, along the seam here, these pieces are just glued together, but using pretty strong glue, because after all these years, it's still glued together. So there's an original cheese for you. This used to be a really rare puzzle. Not quite so rare anymore. Alright. Now, these are cheeses made quite recently by a noted company in China. Now, this one does turn along that center axis. Okay? They made them in black, and they made them in white. I'm sure there's a white one around here somewhere. The difference is each face is a solid color. You could, I suppose, make a normal cheese out of it by changing the colors here and changing the colors here so that they matched, and you'd have to put some kind of soldering something inside there. So there's the new cheese. The new cheese. It's funny. Okay, now this puzzle is based on, or yeah, I suppose based on another puzzle from Rubik's, and Rubik's based this puzzle, whoops, that I'm going to show you on the cheese. So, you know, what comes around goes around. Wow. My shelf is so dusty, it's not funny. Bless her, Miss Nancy is just, she won't dust. She's afraid of hurting my toys, so she won't dust. So everything is really, really dusty. So before I put those up there, I'm going to kind of wipe the dust off a little bit. It's embarrassing. Okay, so this is a Rubik's UFO. Alright, and you can't see the dust so much on this one anymore. Alright. It says on the outside, wow. Oh my goodness. I've just noticed something. This has sat on the shelf. I don't use it. Never played with it because it's really hard to grip. The UFO turns that way. And so you can see I've kind of turned it a little bit. It's not lined up. It's really, really, really hard to grip. So I've not done it. I know there were a lot of modifications of UFOs being done over the years. This is the first version that was put out, and I'm going to have to say this was somewhere in the 1990s. It was designed and made. The UFO turns along the axes like this as well, so you can muck it up. Now the core is just the same thing as the core on the new cheese, so it's the same exact puzzle, really, effectively. Alright, so there's that, and nice thing about it is the 1990s version didn't have a stand that went with it. You'll notice I have two stands, which tells you, since the 90s version didn't have a stand, I have three three UFOs. Now, the next version, sorry, I was kind of going for a second there, because the paint is bubbled, and I thought it was dust, and when I pushed it, it actually just kind of fell off, which is really odd. Okay, so this is the version that was done a bit later. You can still find copies of these. I know Smaz has some at his web shop. I think Puzzle Master has some at theirs. You can see them at Amazon every now and again. So, you know, loads of places do sell the cheese. Now, when I look at the green side, I can actually see that mechanism inside. It's that white ring inside there. I can also see that there are some, I don't know what you call them, pips and grooves. So the gray side has a groove, and this side has some bits that go down into the groove. And it also turns along the axes. Okay, so that's the cheese. Sorry, the UFO. And here, you know, like in a good UFO, it's got, I don't know, antenna? Or is that a landing spot? But when they remade the cheese, they gave it a stand. So for me to have two stands, I've somewhere around here got another green UFO. So that's the UFO puzzle, the cheese and the new cheese, original cheese and new cheese from Rubik's and company out of China.